See if I can get the rooster to be quiet while I'm talking. But here's the 2 nesting boxes. It only has 2, and you can see this dead space right here that's really not used for anything. And so I really think we could do 3 nesting boxes. That was why I come up with the idea. And then Justin Rhodes, what this chicken is sitting on here, this flips up. If I can get him out of the way, he's not gonna move. This flips up and blocks the entrance. It comes up and blocks the entrance of the nesting boxes, and that's to keep chickens out that are going in the nesting boxes and sleeping or whatever. But to be honest, I don't know who's getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and coming out and picking this lid up and then flipping that back down so that the other chickens can get in. So I followed his plans there, but I don't ever see that as being useful, so I didn't put that in the new one, and instead I put the 3 nesting boxes. I did the 1/2 inch hardware cloth on the sides, just like Justin Rhodes, and I recommend that. I've had this thing for a whole season, and I've not lost any chickens to raccoons or anything. And then the 1 inch mesh on the bottom, we haven't cleaned this out one time, so it's doing very well as far as not needing cleaned out. So I copied this on the new one also. And here's the old nesting boxes here. And Justin Rhodes doesn't have anything blocking this, and he locks these in to where they're hitting there. But I just don't think that it offers enough protection. Raccoons are pretty smart, so I think they can pull these out and or shove them in or something and get access. So I didn't like that. So I had to put a door on after the fact that locks. So I can lock that. So I had to put a door on that locks. And I really didn't love the door, so you're going to see that I changed that on this new Chickshaw. And then Justin recommends these 26-inch Marathon tires that are flat free. They work great. You can get them from Northern Tool. What I did when I bought them is I just read the description wrong on Amazon, and I actually bought the 20-inch wheels, and I got a 2-pack of the 20-inch wheels for $79, and these cost $100 a piece. So that's $200 if you go with the 26-inch. If you go with the 20-inch, it's only $79. So you can save $130 if you go with the smaller wheels. Now, I already had the wheels, so I thought I would go ahead. I made the new Chickshaw with the smaller 20-inch wheels, and honestly, it rolls pretty good. I don't really notice a difference. The 26-inch wheels should be better, but I don't notice a difference, and the 20-inch wheels are easy enough to move around. So I think that's worth saving $130, and they're accessible on Amazon. I know Northern Tool is having a hard time keeping the 26-inch ones in stock. And he uses a metal, I think, fence post. I just had an old hammock swing rod that was available, so I just put that in there, and it's removable. You just twist it and remove it. So it works okay. I did not like how this blocks the access. You can't walk in and get close to the door. You have to step over all of this. So you're going to see that I changed that design on the new one. This used to have a ramp that came down. I had this to swing down. Justin Rhodes has this to swing down. It's a ramp, and then you latch it. I ended up putting a solid piece here. This still is hinged. If I ever needed to get in here, I just have one screw up top I can unscrew, and then this whole thing will come down if I needed to get inside there like that. Doubt I'll ever use that. And I use the Run Chicken automatic door opener, mainly because whenever we're gone and we have someone else take care of the chickens, it's hard to expect them to come down at 5:30 in the morning to let the chickens out. And so this allows the chickens to come out, you know, as soon as it's daylight. I know when we were sleeping in until 6 o'clock or so, they were getting really fussy, so they really want out a little sooner, especially when you have, you know, several chickens in here. I will say this is the mini Chickshaw that Justin Rhodes has. I have not built the larger one. This one was supposed to be good for 24 birds, he said. I think we had 36 total birds. And when we forced them to get in, they could all get in there and there was still room. So I think this is plenty big enough for more than 24 birds. I think it's big enough for over 30 birds, but 2 nesting boxes we found out was not enough. So keep that in mind. I don't remember if the full-size Chickshaw had 3 nesting boxes or maybe even 4. I don't even remember what the size is. This is basically built on a 4x4, 4 foot by 4 foot square frame. So that's basically the size on the inside. So there's my old Chickshaw, and then we'll go talk about the new one and what changes I have made. So with the legs, you just take 2 foot long. These are all 2 foot long, and you basically just screw them together to make an L, right? So if you do your L this way, that limits you to 2 of these milk crates for nesting boxes. But if you simply just flip this over to where your shorter L piece is on the inside, where the pointing towards your nesting boxes, then that allows me to fit 3 in there, which is what I was having an issue with our other one. Was 2 nesting boxes for the amount of birds we had was not enough. And Justin calls for these corner braces, but they are pretty expensive, and the outside braces are really expensive too. So I'm gonna show you what I used instead. I found these braces at a hardware store at Menards for $1.27. They were a lot cheaper than what he used for just the braces that came in. I don't know what those called, but those corner braces I used on the other Chickshaw. So I thought I'd try these, see if they added more strength, and looks like it does a pretty good job. Once I add the top parts, this is going to be pretty stable. I mean, it's already pretty stout with those braces. So I think these are a cheaper option for $2.60 at the time of this video. I can brace both sides. I don't need the outside brace that he had that were really expensive. And then just the inside braces cost more than what these cost together, I believe. So this is a cheaper option that I think actually gives you as much or more support and stability, because they're 5-inch braces, I believe. Yeah, they're 5-inch braces. So that gives you a little more leverage, strength, in my opinion. And for the nesting boxes, I just put 2 boards for them to sit on, and then you can see the clamps. I glued a board so that the milk crates will hit that board and not be able to come forward into the Chickshaw. Yeah, we worked on the Chickshaw a little bit today. Chickens are out there by the other one. I'll have to show you some details on that, but I got the top end, the side braces, and a little bit of time it takes there to do the nesting box. I'll try to show you how I did that. I didn't like how Justin Rhodes does his, because he has them come in, and he has these milk crates have these little lips here, and he has the 2x4 come up to where it locks in, kind of like that. And he does that on the front and the back, and the reason is because he doesn't have a door here, and he says that is varmint proof, but I really didn't trust it, because I've seen raccoons do some pretty intelligent things. So I actually put a door on mine, so I really don't need it to kind of go in and lock in, and that makes it harder to get them out. So I put a stop right there, and they just sit on both 2x4s, and then it's a lot easier to pull them out. It's just real easy to pull them out. So I like that setup a little bit better. Here I am putting on the 1/2-inch hardware cloth. If you have a Crown pneumatic stapler like this, it makes it much easier. Or maybe if you can borrow one off of someone, it makes putting this on pretty painless. I really like the Run Chicken automatic door, so I'm going to do that on this Chickshaw. Here you can see you trace it out and cut out the hole in the door there to mount it. Now, you can see here I use a galvanized sheet metal. Justin uses plastic,
And I've had friends that have used the plastic. It wasn't that great, and it costs more. So the metal is a cheaper option, and it is going to last forever, I believe, being galvanized. And I also, you can see, have used the metal to wrap the full sides. I think I'm in a colder climate than Justin, so I went ahead and wrapped both sides on this Chickshaw.
I put a brace in here instead of the stick that Justin Rhodes uses, that he pulls out and then he sticks it in there. I didn't find that was super stable, and I felt like the top could fall down and hurt someone. So I just put a bolt through here, lag bolt, and then I put a couple washers and screws down here. And so all you do is just take that out. This will rotate down out of the way for permanent storage, and then you can close the top. So if you ever want to open the top, you just open it like this, swing this up, and then that locks right in. And this is really secure, and it's not going anywhere. So I like that better. And we have discovered that you put straw or wood shavings in these milk crates. We like the milk crates because they are easy to take out and to clean them. But we do not like that all the holes the chickens just seem to scratch out the straw or the wood shavings really quick, and they end up empty all the time. So we've tried lining them with cardboard, and that's helped, but that's not a permanent solution. So I got some material at the hardware store. I'm going to show it to you. I'll give you the details on that, but I'm going to try to epoxy that in, and I'm going to make them nice and cozy and waterproof, easy to clean, but it'll hold the material in there, I think. So I'm going to try that out. I might have to let you know how that goes here in about 5 or 6 months, give you an update video on that. Here's the material I use. It's a poly wall utility panel, and you just simply cut it out. I used 10 snips. You probably even use scissors. And instead of epoxying it, my wife had a great idea of just using a couple zip ties. Worked great. Okay, here is the new Chickshaw. So it's the same size. It's a 4 foot by 4 foot square frame. Okay, pretty simple to build. I love the Run Chicken automatic door, so I went ahead and spent the money. They're a little expensive, but man, it's convenient. So I went ahead and put that on this one too, and got the solid frame there. This one I don't even have hingeable, so this you can't even take down. But this smaller frame here has allowed me to have easy access to the door, or whenever you pick up the inside, it's easy access. You don't have to pull, you don't have to step over any of this frame here. It's a little bit of work to come up with the way he mounts these bars on his, and it's a lot of effort. And I really went with a simpler method where I just screwed in a couple boards and then attached it. Most of the weight's pushing up here against the frame right here, and I made it shorter, and then I put a rope on. Don't know if I love this or not, but so the rope's that high for me. It's easy to adjust. You can simply, if you're shorter, you can wrap the rope around one time. Now it's a shorter handle, so it's kind of cheap. It's probably not as nice as having a solid wooden handle. I can always add a wooden handle and raise this up a little higher later if I choose that it's worth it. But I kind of like this being a shorter form factor, so I'm kind of liking that. So here's the smaller wheels. You can tell that they're a lot smaller than the 26-inch wheels. So if I do 26, that's a 13-inch radius. So 20-inch wheels, a 10-inch radius. So you would think that I would have 3 inches less of clearance off the ground. A couple ways that I got away with that is I added a 2x4 all the way across the bottom. That's what I mounted the wheel all thread to. That what's the word for that? The axle. That's what I mounted the wheel axle on, was the 2x4 that I ran all the way across. And so that gains you 1.5 inches. So now you're only 1.5 inches shorter, 1.5 inches less clearance than his design with the 26-inch wheels. The other thing I did was I moved these wheels pretty far back, and that allows you to pick up the front and not have a clearance issue back here. Okay, this is the back of the Chickshaw here. One thing I didn't do on the other design was I didn't put in the mineral feeder that he has, and I also didn't put in the kickstand. I really don't understand the purpose of the kickstand. I think all you need to do is move the wheels back a little bit so that your center of gravity would make the Chickshaw never flip backwards and make it a little weight forward. It's not that hard to move, so I would move the wheels back and just get rid of the kickstand. I talked to some other people that had the kickstand. His is a horrible design. They tried some other designs. They also didn't work that great. I have not seen a need for a kickstand at all, so I'd say just scrap the kickstand, move the wheels further back, and you'll be just fine. Okay, now you saw how I put a door on the other one. I didn't love it, so here I just hinged. I put another board to mount hinges, and I put in some wire mesh here, and I put a carabiner up here to remove that. So this comes down just like this, and then these nesting boxes come right out. Okay. One thing he didn't do was he didn't add a hole here. We added a little bit bigger hole just to reach in and get the eggs, so that you get your hand in. So you can cut a little bit of a hole out here, and of course you cut the same hole out in the front, the other side, for the chickens to get in. You can see the bar going up right there. That just swings out of the way whenever you want to let it down. Now you can see how I removed the perch in here, and instead I put the 3 nesting boxes in, and I think that's going to work out better. The perch just is another place for them to sit up there and poop on each other, I believe. But this is easy enough. They don't really need anything to hop up in there. I should tell you that too. You don't need a ramp for full-size chickens. They can just hop right in there. And then this is that plastic wall material that I lined these in with. I did 4 pieces and zip tied these in. I found out it was easier just to have 1 piece and just use 2 zip ties. So the last 2 I did better on that. And I think that's going to work out nice, and we can, if they ever need washed out, that's a waterproof material, so that we can just spray them out with a water hose if we need to. Here, chickies!
They're in the fence, dude!
Here comes a new home for you. We'll have to open up the gate and bring it in. Oh, you like it?
Yes.
Okay, one more thing I failed to mention. Because I made this so narrow, the 2 things that it sits on in the front, the 2 posts, are only about 16 inches apart instead of 4 feet apart. On Justin's design and on my old Chickshaw design, it's basically got 2 legs on the front that are way towards the end here. Works okay, but one of those problems is if you're on uneven ground, only one is hitting, and then that puts a lot of torque and twist on your Chickshaw because one leg is taking all the weight on one side. So moving these in closer makes this more like a 3-legged stool, the 2 wheels being 2 of the legs and then the front here being like the 3rd leg. So even if you move these in a little closer than this, I think it would work pretty good too. So I kind of like that design. This will work much better if you're on uneven ground where you got bumps and stuff in your yard or field.
I hope this video was helpful to you and that it might give you a few ideas on how to change your Chickshaw or mini Chickshaw design. If you have any questions that might have came up through this video, please comment. I would be glad to answer anything that I can. You can tell the chickens are loving their new home. Thanks a lot. Please subscribe if you like the channel.